Tuesday. Look how many cars and people there are. And I really thought it'd be practically anyone here. Good morning. And it is morning. You know, I left the house at 9 o'clock. Unheard of. Anyway, I'm out near Fewston Reservoir, which is near Harrogate, and which is over there. Oh, there's barbed wire down there somewhere. I don't know if you've got to see it. Anyway, my objective today isn't to walk around the reservoir. Consider it's a Tuesday. There's a heck of a lot of people and cars here. Anyway, lots of mud here. Lots of mud. I'm going down here into the woods to a place called Gill Beck to have a look at it. Wink, wink. And probably come back and do part of the reservoir as well. Out for the day. Spitting at the moment. I think it gives me to ease off after lunch. So just looking at a building, didn't know if it was a ruin or not. But hard to tell. Ah, now where's my marker? So I'll come down here. The gate there. I have to get my map out. Well, it did turn out they had to come up by that building that I thought was a ruin. Dangerous building. So kindly put all the windows in. Very bricked up there. No idea what it was. Probably some kind of, the door and the windows make it look like a house, but don't know. I cannot see any markers, that's the problem. I have to keep referring back to my map. It's annoying when they do that. And into the woods I go. I came to the UK in 1987. That's 30 years ago. On a one-way ticket. I had been here previously, a couple of holidays, once in 1974 and once in 1983. That's the car coming. So 1987 was an interesting year. I ended up, when I first arrived, crashed on someone's couch for a couple of weeks. Then I hooked up with a couple of other people and we found somewhere to live in South London, in Camberwell Green. And I got a job in the local pub for a while. And more and more New Zealanders end up coming and staying because they were all planning on their summer holiday in a van, and so they were all coming in crashing. But There's no worries. I was working, as in pubs closed at 3 o'clock. I'd be working the morning shift session, go home, then come back and work in the evening. So I was hardly ever home anyway. A lot of those particular kiwis come from a place called Thames. And I've no idea where any of them are now. I mean, we didn't have the internet back then. And Facebook to keep in touch when so many people got no fixed abode. But anyway, come the summer, these that group went off in their van. There was a few of us left, so we then decided to go and meet up with them in Spain, in Pamplona. The three of us set off hitchhiking. With three of us, it became quite difficult in France to get a lift, so we split up, and I did a good majority of hitchhiking through France by myself. I only had one dodgy encounter. Some bloke decided to run his fingernails along my leg while he was changing gear. Anyway, that was a short ride. Anyway, I got out of that straight away. Anyway, I met up with these other two, and we ended up getting a lift with this truck full of hippies. They were heading off down to Spain somewhere, down to the coast, I think. So we went through, rode with them for a couple of days. But before we even crossed the border into Spain, the French pulled us over, well, a truckload of hippies, had to check all our passports out, blah blah blah. Anyway, majority of them came from Bristol. No idea where they are now either. A nice crowd though. So anyway, we made it to Pamplona. It's been a few days catching up. Then when they moved on, we went with them for a few days, and then I got off and went to Lisbon. Spent a few days there, met a Canadian girl, so we were looking for accommodation for a few nights, so we shared a room. And then I needed to come back to London, so I got the coach. Took 2 days, a full 48 hours, and that was interesting. I ended up sitting next to this Portuguese guy. As usual, public footpath, I'm going down someone's driveway. Oh, there's a sign up there. Where does it go? I think I've got to go through that gate, do I? Yeah, I think so. Right, you can see it. I've just come across those fields. There's no real obvious track, no markers. So, been a little bit tricky. Anyway, now I look like I'm on some kind of bridleway or something. Yeah, so anyway, where was I? Oh yes, this coach from Lisbon to London. What it did was, arrives in Paris, well, in South Paris, should I say. You then have to make your own way to North Paris and get the coach from that depot. So, now, given that I don't speak a word of French, given that the euro didn't exist back then, so you had to have separate car. I had no French money, basically, and it was night time. There was no way that I knew I could change it. So anyway, this Portuguese bloke came to the rescue and paid for my train fare to get the underground, or whatever they call it in France, metro, to get from south to north France, Paris. And he was on his way to England to work on a farm. Apparently in those days, I don't even know what it's like now, but Portuguese couldn't just come across and work in the UK. They had to get visas and permits and all that. So he had a work thing set up to work on some farm somewhere. Anyway, we got on the ferry. Tunnel didn't exist then either. I paid him back and gave him my address and said, well, if things don't work out, you can come and stay at our place for free. Anyway, about a month later he showed up. Actually got himself a job in North London and moved over there. But yeah, that was one little trip. Into the right muddy trail, this one. I don't think I'm that far off it, this Gill Beck. It's just lots of turns, it's not a straight path. So when I get around here somewhere I've got to veer right, I think. Which means I'll have to get me GPS out. Well, turn my phone over to GPS, should I say. Right, I just have to backtrack. I've missed the turn off somewhere to be on the other side of the beck, I guess, where I want to go. There seems to be a path on the other side there somewhere. But it's just somewhere up there, I guess. I have to look a bit closer. Looks like I found a crossing. Totally not on the map. I have to come back quite a way. There might be a bit of a big gap at the other end for me yet, because these rocks will be slippery. But shall we have a look up closer? Yeah, I just stood on a mud pile over there, just sunk. Well, I haven't really been able to find a suitable crossing point. Everything looks promising till you get up close. And you think, it's a bit of a fast step, and if that rock's slippery, I've got nothing to support me. And where it's narrow, obviously it's faster flowing. And where it's wider, it's just, like I said, too big a gaps between rocks, etc. to risk slipping. So, I'm saying that, now I'll come down to this. Look at how wild it is on the other side now. It's I need a machete to get through that if I get across here. So I'm going to follow this track back, and it'll bring me out the top of one of the reservoirs. I mean, there was another track apparently that I can connect up with further along to take me right back, but I'll see. It's lunchtime. I want somewhere to sit and have my lunch. Wonder what that is. Let's go and have a look. Looks like it's all bricked up. Oh look, there's a little seat there. Don't know what this used to be. There's a window open there. Barn of sorts. Yeah. There's a seat there. I might just stop here and have my lunch. Alright, I didn't have all my lunch, just had a snack and drink of tea. And some rest. And then I'll head on. Yeah, so after I came back from Lisbon, about a week later, was it 2 weeks later or something like that, went up to Glastonbury. And obviously in those days you didn't buy your tickets online. And that, so I just, they didn't sell out within 2 hours. I went up to Greenpeace office and bought a ticket for me and my friend. And we went up down there. We hitchhiked there. Hitchhiked back. And it was quite good. It was a dry run. Only been over one other time, and that was 2000. Yeah, 2000. I went 1987, 2000. Don't think I'll ever go again. It's I think it's when it all sells out and it's ultra crowded. Too old for that. Too grumpy, should I say. Right, onward to go. And just had a look at my Fitbit. And I hadn't done 2 miles. Anyway, let's see how far I can get now. Right, just getting back to Fewston Reservoir. I was going to go straight back to the car park because I know they've got picnic tables there. But then I thought, no, I'll come down to the reservoir, and there's meant to be a track along the water's edge, and just walk away around that way back. There might be some seats down by the water, you never know. Yeah, so anyway, all these woods and the ones that I've been walking through are all Yorkshire water. I haven't seen anything special, but there are a few sort of looks like clear spots within the woods, but nothing too special. I might, if we've got time before it gets dark, I might go and find that other track and see if I can get down to that area I wanted to go to before, but it's probably going to be unlikely since it gets dark so early now. Oh, there's even a little beach. Cold water kills. I bet it bloody does. Yeah, so who forgot their lighter and had to use their fire stick for the first time ever, and it worked.